Hello, it's Clarky's Hobbies here again. I finally put out all my ACW, American Civil War, 12mm, mainly all Warlord figures out. So I'm just going to go through, I just want to go through all of them. Well, I'm going to go through, show you them all, but get an individual name. So here we go. I'm just going to do a little wide bit. So this is going to be all my Confederates on this side. As I go along here. This is all my Union. There's only one more regiment I've got to do on Union, and then to be honest, I am going to call it a day really. I may do a couple of command stands with the, that Warlord. Commands with General Lee and Grant, and make nice little stands out of them. Right, okay, let me just go through much as I can without messing all this up. Okay then, right, this is all my infantry. And this is the Warlord starter box that came out a few years ago, the first one. And then I just added a few more as the years went on. Just to update them a little bit. Like, for example, these ones here. Now, the problem is I got new glasses and my eyesight wasn't as good. I don't know if you can get that focusing in. They're the Florida State, that's the Florida State flag. So I like the way, I'm very big into marching. Pardon me, with my fellas. I did a few regiments. See, these are all in grey. Later on in the war, they went to a little bit of a brown. It's good with the Confederates because you can play around with them and put them a bit more different colours. Try and get this properly. As you can see, the skin's quite dark, so I just put them as to get the suntan. A lot of Confederates didn't have both flags. Sometimes just had a Confederate flag. I don't know, nothing on the bottom of there. Well done. What's these ones say? South Georgia state flag. So I'm not really going to go through the whole lot of them. Should do, but a bit lazy. And it's great to look up this and find the history a little bit more. Like, for example, these are Confederates, and they're all in green. Never thought that, never heard of that at all. And these ones are, what's that? If I've got it upside down. Well done. Hang on, let me try and read that. The Georgia state flag. That's another Georgia one. As a known at the regiment, I'm not too sure. If you know, it'd be great to know. But I should really just Google it, really. Mainly, I did them all. But as you see, some of the officers, I cut one figure. I've done this to a lot of my Napoleonics. And just done the whole, I cut off two of the figures, one of each on each side, front and back. And I just put the horse on it there, which comes out really well. I'm very happy with that. As I said, you just play around with these, especially the Confederates. So that would be mainly there. Right, along here, these are my savoirs, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. These are my lovely savoirs. And these are, oh, upside down again, well done. Louisiana Tiger Zouaves, that's their flag. It's a Louisiana, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. there's another one they got. They had about a few regiments of these Zawars. These ones are South Georgia Zawar. So these are the South Georgia. Very nice indeed. So I've just done 2 of them. That'll do with them. Do a bit of zoom in. This is some more officers. Look at the shaky cam. Some of the officers I just done put a little fella beside them in marching order just to break them up a little bit because they're quite boring really, the officers. They're just always that pose. Alright, this one here. I just gave the flag with a drummer just to break them up a little bit and make them a little bit more exciting. These things you see here are trains. I got this while I went to a railway convention and I thought they're small enough to do them. I didn't do a lot of them because for packaging them it'd be a right little pain. They're yellow on the uniforms, are grey. I've got too much shaky here. I must try. Let me hold this phone properly. Right, along here, this is the cavalry. I'm not a big fan of warlords, the cavalry on these. They're quite boring, really. Peter Pig's done really nice ones. I might do another one of these just to bump them up a little bit. But overall, they come out quite nice, really. They do the job. So I stuck one of the officers on them there from the pack just to make up the number. These ones you've seen the video already are these. I've got that's the ambulance, the wagon, the limber, and that's what I was saying. This my command base you get from Warlord. It's quite nice. But I say to do the major ones with Lee and a few others, which I will be doing, not for a while yet. But they do the job quite well. That's what main command says. So that's the Confederates. Go to all the Confederates? No, sorry, I tell a lie. Let's go back in. These are skirmish. Little stones that's picked up as you're walking down the road. Just wash them thoroughly. Stick them in the oven for a few minutes to kill any known germs. This fella's just holding some horses. Quite nice. All the artillery. Well, maybe that was a bit too many troops on that artillery piece. But I've just done the artillery. The Confederates did a lot of red hats on theirs. The brown uniform, grey uniform. So that more later on in the war. So about the grey one of that. Just stuck a flag on them occasionally. Right, okay, let me just, and that's the Confederates. Let me just come along here. Let's move myself. These are my Union. So it's roughly the same. Just a little bit different here and there. Do a bit of zoom in. These are my Union Azores. As I say, I've just got one of these. I am going to do another regiment of these Union Azores. These are very nice. It's one of the first Azores I've done. Very nice indeed. Oh, what have I written on these? The 9th Regiment New York Volunteers. Hawkins Azores. America at that time based their army on the French style, a lot of it really. These are my Iron Brigade. I've done 2 of these. The uniform's a bit dark, so I did the great coats a little bit darker. I should have done more effort on that drum, I think, with that white lining. And they had backpacks. I love them because they had backpacks. At the top there just had the blankets, you see, like the brown, sometimes they're blue, whatever they wanted. Or grey coats, either one. What one did I do this one as? The 19th. Indiana volunteer. I didn't know about that one. Must have done that. It was on the box. It's all about the sniffing. And these are the same here again. These are all my Union. Same again there. I put the horse rider with them. I'm going to show you the very first regiment I'd done. And see, look, it's got the French flag there. Let me double check. And they got little top of the hats are red. New York Regiment. What was that? 55th. There's a little French flag with them. Oh, where is it? Oh, if I hid them at the back somewhere. Here it is, I did as well. And they're over here. This is the very first regiment I'd done about 3 years ago, which is the Irish Regiment. And that's the 69th New York Volunteer Regiment. Irish Brigade, so to say. So that's the very first one I've done. Very happy with that. So out of all of these, that's the very first one I've done. And just carried on from there. Go along here, I've done the African Regiment. I've done a couple of those. I did had white officers and white sergeants. Then also start promoting African Americans into sergeants. Colour sergeants, well, American version of the colour sergeants. I've done another one there, and that's just a normal standard regiment. There you go, with the horses again. Along here is more artillery. And then again, when you do a command base, I try to make a little story out of them. Like this one here has got a broken Confederate cannon, and they're just taking that line, so they're marching forward. I do little things like that. Little dioramas, they call that. Quite happy with that. You could say it's Grant or not, but it's not really meant to be. But I would do a Grant one again. Same again here. The cavalry, not the greatest cavalry in the world, but once you paint them up and put them all together, they look quite nice. There again, I might do another one of these, but in Peter Pig, they've got little different stands. More officers down there. Individual troops with them. And then the wagons, the ambulance. And there's my skirmish as well, roughly the same as I did with the Confederates. Holding the horses, you can have three. I've done these ones there, Confederates, I've done 3 or 4. And the last but not least is that wagon. Not wagon, sorry, limber. So I'm quite happy with it all. Right, so that is my ACW Warlord completed, well, nearly completed army, and I felt I'd really call it a day. It's just getting the space really to put them really. I just buy a new few shells, just as you see, like screwing some shells into the wall, and then do a few more, and just get them out on display. It just takes you ages to dust them really. You dust the bottom of them, but if it gets a little bit too much, you have to dust the figures with a very light brush across the top. Okay, everyone, that's just my American Civil War. Sorry about the shaky cam. Probably give you a headache after a while. But overall, take care, everyone.